heard my name whispered right behind my ear while I was completely alone in my bedroom. The voice was so calm, so patient, as if it had always known me. I didn't turn around, but I knew, with absolute certainty, something was standing there. I live in a quiet neighborhood, the kind where the nights are heavy and still. By 10 o'clock, every house looks asleep, and the only sound is the low hum of streetlights. I'd always felt safe there, till the night the whisper came. My room smelled faintly of dust and warm fabric. My lamp flickered once, then held steady. But the air, it felt thicker, pressing against my skin. The whisper came again, closer this time, speaking my name slowly, drawing out each sound. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. Every single instinct screamed at me to look, but another part of me, a deeper, colder part, remembered something my grandmother once said. Never look behind you at night. Some things wait for that moment, so I stayed frozen. Seconds stretched into an eternity. All I could hear was my own ragged breathing. Then the floor creaked softly behind me, the sound of someone shifting their weight. A cold draft brushed the back of my neck. The smell in the room changed, becoming sharp and metallic. I forced myself to move, but forward, only forward. The whole house felt wrong. Shadows bent at strange angles, and the walls seemed to lean in. As I passed a mirror, I kept my eyes fixed on the floor, but I caught motion at the edge of my vision. Something tall and thin moved where my reflection should have been. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt watched, heard faint footsteps, perfectly in sync with my breathing. When dawn finally came, I felt hollowed out, empty. I tried to rationalize it, telling myself that fear was just playing tricks on me. I went to work and did my best to forget, but the next night, it returned. I was brushing my teeth when the lights dimmed. The bathroom mirror fogged over, even though the water was cold. Words began to form on the glass, as if traced by an unseen finger. Look behind you. The letters dripped down the mirror and vanished. I backed away from the sink, the small room feeling like a cage. The air vibrated with a low hum. I felt pressure against my spine, like a presence leaning close. A slow, cold breath brushed my ear. I remembered the rule and stared straight ahead into my own eyes. My reflection smiled, even though my face was a mask of pure terror. That's when I knew the smile wasn't mine. I covered every mirror in the house. I avoided windows after sunset. Still, it followed. At night, I heard it pacing, just out of sight. During the day, I felt its patience like a physical weight on my shoulders. My thoughts became fractured. Cool, I jumped at every sound. My friend said I looked exhausted, but how could I explain any of this without sounding completely insane? Desperate, I searched online, digging through old forums and forgotten folklore. I found a fragment, a small story about a watcher that lives in the space behind people. It fed on awareness and fear. It couldn't fully enter our world unless it was acknowledged. Looking was the invitation. The watcher learned your routines. It waited until exhaustion softened your mind. It whispered. It breathed. It touched you ever so lightly until your resistance finally broke. That night, the power went out. The house sank into a thick, deliberate darkness. The pale blue light of my phone screen was all I had. As I walked down the hallway, my shadow stretched long ahead of me, but it wasn't alone. Another shadow overlapped it, thinner, taller, wrong. The whisper returned, softer now, almost gentle. It told me it was tired of waiting. It said I was already half turned. My legs trembled. I reached the front door, but the handle was ice cold and wouldn't budge. The walls creaked as if the house itself was leaning inward. Behind me, the air split with a wet sound. I felt fingers brush my shoulder. They were too long. The touch burned with an impossible cold. My vision blurred. Every muscle in my body screamed to turn. The rule echoed in my mind, a final warning. I ran. I sprinted down the hallway, back toward the bedroom. The sound of movement followed, close and smooth. No footsteps, just a sliding whisper of motion. I dove inside and slammed the door. The darkness pressed in. My phone light flickered. I stood in the center of the room, shaking. The whisper was all around me now, coming from every direction. It spoke of memories that weren't mine, of rooms without doors, endless waiting, and a hunger sharpened by centuries. The pressure behind me grew unbearable. I felt breath on my neck, felt a grin near my ear. My mind fractured under the strain. Its eyes were pits of swirling darkness. Its body unfolded, taller than the room should allow. Its mouth opened, wider than humanly possible. The room screamed with static. I woke up on the floor at dawn. The house was quiet. Sunlight streamed through uncovered windows. The mirrors were all uncovered, and they reflected me, standing alone. I laughed, a weak, shaky sound. It must have been a breakdown, a nightmare. That night, as I lay in bed, I stared at the ceiling and felt calm for the first time in days. Then, I heard breathing behind me, perfectly matching my own. In the dark, I felt a smile form on my face, a smile I couldn't control. I didn't look behind me. I didn't have to. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more.